What's up, Raider Nation? Big moves are happening in Vegas, and today we've got a lot to talk about. So buckle up because the Raiders just pulled off something that's making waves around the NFL, and I couldn't wait to bring this one onto the table. This isn't just about a flashy player signing or a highlight play. This is a foundational shift, a strategic addition that could seriously impact the team's long-term success. And if you're someone who values vision, planning, and chess-like precision in football, this is the kind of move that should get you hyped. The Raiders have gone out and made a major play, not on the field, but off of it, by bringing in one of the most respected names in personnel scouting across the league. A former senior director of college scouting, someone who spent nearly a quarter of a century crafting talent pipelines for one of the most consistent teams in the NFL, has now taken on a key executive role in Vegas. This guy wasn't just sitting behind the desk filing reports. He was one of the brains behind multiple Super Bowl winning rosters. He lived in the war room during drafts, standing shoulder to shoulder with the general manager and team president, making decisions that shaped the future of a franchise. Now he's bringing that vision and insight to the Raiders. Let me just say this. When a team loses a figure that important, you can feel the tremors all the way across the league. And when a team like the Raiders is the one pulling that talent in, it tells you everything you need to know about the direction they're heading. You don't make a move like this unless you're serious. Unless you're looking not just to compete, but to build a sustainable winning culture. This isn't about plugging holes anymore. It's about building something real. And for anyone who's followed the Raiders through thick and thin, you know how significant that is. Now, I know some of you out there might not be familiar with this new executive. That's fair. Not everyone follows the back office moves like they follow player trades or fantasy stats. But trust me, this hire is as impactful as signing a Pro Bowl talent on the field. You want to know how important this guy was to his former team? Just look at how their fans and media are reacting to the news. That organization was known for hitting gold in the draft year after year. And while the headlines often credit the GM, those in the know have always pointed to this man as one of the key minds behind the curtain. The guy had the final word on scouting reports, draft grades, and player evaluations. And now he's rocking silver and black. From what I've seen, the Raiders front office has shifted gears this offseason. There's been a clear intention to bring in talent not just on the field, but behind the scenes. They've gone after minds, after leadership, after vision. And let me be honest here, when the team missed out on a particular candidate a few weeks back, a lot of us were left wondering if we let a golden opportunity slip away. But now, I'm feeling good. No, I'm feeling better than good, because what they've put together behind closed doors deserves serious credit. This front office is slowly starting to look like one that understands what it takes to win in this league. And let's not gloss over this. This executive wasn't just some anonymous staffer in a bloated front office. He was the right-hand man of Howie Roseman in Philadelphia for 24 years. That's right. 2.5 decades of collaboration, scouting, building, adjusting, winning. You don't stick around that long in a cutthroat league like the NFL unless you're absolutely elite at what you do. And now he's here in Vegas, part of the Raider family. Let that sink in. I always say that while most people are out here playing checkers, some front offices are playing chess. And with this move, man, I really believe the Raiders are finally sitting at the chessboard. I'm not saying we've reached checkmate yet, far from it. But with this kind of mindset, with these kinds of hires, you better believe we're putting ourselves in position to one day get there. Because building a championship team starts long before the lights come on. It starts in the meetings, in the scouting reports, in the vision, and that's what this hire represents. But let's keep it real. While this is exciting, it's not the only thing swirling around the Raiders right now. Rumors are heating up. There's buzz about a veteran player who might be on his way out, and I've got some thoughts to share about that too. People are asking, will Raheem Mostert be released by the team? And every time I hear this come up, I have to stop and shake my head, because honestly, there's zero chance. Zero. I've seen the articles, I've read the speculation, but come on now. Just because the team made a move in a draft doesn't mean they're going to pull the plug on a proven asset like that. Here's the thing. Every offseason, certain narratives start to build based on draft picks, cap space, and pure guesswork. Sometimes it's clickbait, sometimes it's legit analysis, but too often it's just noise. And this is one of those times. The idea that Mostert, a veteran who still has value, is going to be cut simply because of a draft pick, it doesn't make sense. Not from a strategic standpoint, not from a depth chart standpoint, and definitely not from a financial one. And I get it. People want to speculate. They want to connect the dots, but sometimes the dots just don't connect. I say this all the time. Informed fans are the best fans. And if you're watching this, you're already a step ahead. Because when people come to me asking if this player or that player is on the chopping block, I always remind them, look at the whole picture. Look at the role they play, the value they bring, and what they represent in that locker room. Mostert is not just a guy with speed. He's experienced. He understands situational football. He can be a stabilizing force for younger backs coming in. Cutting someone like that would send the wrong message to a team trying to establish consistency. Now, there's definitely some movement happening deeper on the roster. Some players are going to rise, others are going to fall, and that's part of the natural churn in the NFL. You've got younger talent coming in, and some of them are pushing hard for snaps. That's good. That's healthy competition. But let's not mistake opportunity for inevitability. Not everyone who gets drafted is going to come in and dominate. Not everyone who's been around a while is ready to pack it in. Coaches are watching. Teammates are watching. And how these players perform in training camp is going to tell us a lot more than any offseason headline ever will. And while we're on the topic of rising talent, there's a young linebacker making some serious noise right now. If you've been paying attention, you already know who I'm talking about. This kid has been grinding, impressing coaches, earning respect. It's one thing to show flashes. It's another to show consistency. And from what I'm hearing, this guy is stacking good days on top of good days. And that's the kind of trajectory you love to see. It's been building for a while. You could feel the momentum during last preseason. You could see the flashes in the film. And now with rookie minicamps coming up and off-season workouts heating up, it's becoming clear this young man is ready to make a real push. Not just for a roster spot, for playing time, for impact. And you want to know something really interesting? The linebacker room as a whole might be shifting. There's been talk of different packages, different formations, maybe even more single linebacker looks depending on the matchup. That opens the door for the kind of player who can cover ground, drop back in coverage, and still bring the heat. We're talking about someone who's not just physical, but cerebral. Who knows how to read the play and react? Who has the range to keep up with tight ends and running backs out in space? And based on what I've seen, this young guy might just be that dude. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be an all-pro out the gate, but if you're looking for someone who can contribute on defense, make plays on special teams, and grow into a long-term asset, you might already have him on the roster. And for a team looking to turn the corner, those are the kinds of players you can't afford to overlook. So here's the thing. When we're talking about potential breakout players, it's not just about physical talent anymore. It's about mental toughness, coachability, and how quickly a guy can absorb the system. This linebacker we've been watching, he checks all those boxes. One of the coaches even pointed out that during last year's final preseason game, the kid logged over 90 snaps, more than 70 on defense and about 15 on special teams. And that wasn't just a one-off effort. It was the clearest example of what kind of work ethic he brings to the table. Every down, every rep, he was giving it everything. That's the kind of attitude you want infecting the locker room. And let's not forget, those 90 snaps weren't just about participation. They were productive. Coaches came out of that game talking about how he handled coverage, adjusted to motion, responded to play action. These are real reps with real consequences. And he showed out. He didn't just run around and look busy. He executed. And in the film room, that stuff doesn't lie. It stands out. Especially when you're looking at a linebacker core that, let's be honest, has lacked coverage versatility for a while now. Most of the guys in that room are built for the trenches. Downhill hitters, solid against the run, physical at the line of scrimmage. But ask them to drop back and cover a tight end on a seam route or stick with a back out in the flat. That's where things get shaky. This young player might be the answer to that gap. He's got the agility, the instincts, and more importantly, the discipline to stay locked in through extended plays. He doesn't bite on the first move. He trusts his read and reacts accordingly. Now I know some fans are already comparing him to other names in the linebacker room. You've got guys like Amari Burney, Cody Lindenberg, and Tommy Eichenberg, all with their own strengths and potential. But if you ask me today who could have the biggest impact in 2025 out of that group, I'm leaning toward Amari Gaynor. Just based on the versatility he's showing and the buzz coming from inside the building, he might be carving out a unique role for himself. And if the Raiders do end up running more single linebacker sets, having someone who can hold his own both against the run and in coverage becomes even more crucial. We've seen this story before. A guy drafted late or even undrafted comes in with something to prove and ends up outperforming expectations. That chip on the shoulder matters. Gaynor is hungry. You can feel it. You can see it in the way he carries himself during drills, in the way veterans talk about him, and in the tone coaches use when his name comes up. They're not just throwing compliments around. They're acknowledging a player who's earning their trust day in and day out. The truth is, these are the players that help define the identity of a defense. Not just the household names, but the grinders, the ones who earn it, the ones who evolve. The Raiders are building something right now, and if they get these pieces to fall into place the right way, we might just be seeing the early stages of a new core forming. A group of guys who aren't just here to fill roster spots, but to be difference makers. There's something brewing in Vegas. You can feel the shift in the energy, in the decision making, in the way this team is investing in both proven leadership and rising potential. From the front office changes to the on-field developments, the Raiders are quietly but intentionally setting themselves up to compete in ways we haven't seen in years. And look, I'm not saying it's all going to come together overnight. There's still work to be done. But if you're watching closely, you'll notice the signs. The blueprint is there. And moves like these, they're the ones that separate a team that's just trying to stay afloat from one that's actually building towards something lasting. So, Raider Nation, stay locked in. Because these aren't just off-season headlines. This is the groundwork for what could be a serious resurgence. And if everything starts clicking the way it looks like it might, then yeah, we're not just talking about playing competitive football. We're talking about making noise when it counts. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a stunning move that has sent shockwaves through the NFL, the Las Vegas Raiders have signed superstar wide receiver Tyreek Hill to a massive contract, creating what many are already calling the dream offense of the league. The deal, reportedly worth over $100 million, secures one of the fastest and most dangerous playmakers in football and dramatically alters the landscape of the AFC West. Tyreek Hill, known for his electrifying speed, elite route running, and game-breaking ability, leaves the Miami Dolphins after several record-setting seasons. His arrival in Las Vegas signifies the Raiders' commitment to building a championship-caliber team and puts the rest of the league on high alert. Hill joins a potent offensive unit already brimming with talent, and his presence is expected to immediately elevate the team's scoring potential and open up the field for other weapons. The Raiders' front office made a bold statement with this acquisition, showing that they're all in on competing for a Super Bowl. With Hill stretching defenses and drawing double coverage, opportunities will abound for both the running game and other receivers. This move also gives the Raiders quarterback a premier target capable of turning any play into a touchdown. Fans in Las Vegas have erupted with excitement, flooding social media with predictions and celebratory messages. The energy around the team is electric, with analysts already suggesting the Raiders may boast one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL next season. Tyreek Hill's addition not only brings elite talent, but also experience, leadership, and a winning mentality that could prove crucial in tight games down the stretch. As the upcoming season approaches, all eyes will be on the Raiders to see how this star-studded offense performs on the field. One thing is certain, with Tyreek Hill in silver and black, the Raiders are no longer just contenders, they're a team to be feared. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.